Hey everybody, and welcome. I'm kind of sitting outside here because I thought it would be a good time for me to talk about something. If you hear a lot outside and noise and everything, I do apologize for that. I kind of going through a lot of different things right now in my life. And one of them is that my dad's going through a real rough time right now, and he is not doing well. I think he's on his way out of this world, and I just feel that he has been struggling a long time, and I didn't really think it was going to happen right now, and it's kind of like you almost feel like I'm not ready for it right now. But in a way, you have to understand that in some cases you have to be kind of prepared at any time. It could happen at any time. For my mom, I kind of a little bit prepared for her, and for my dad, I am prepared. I don't want to see him go, but I don't want to see him in the condition he's in right now, by all means. So that's one thing that I am going to be happy. Yeah, I don't want to see him suffering. I don't want to see him in the condition he's in right now. And he's not himself. Once in a great while, you'll see a little bit of him pop in and out of there, and a little bit of that humor pop in and out. And so that kind of brings a little bit of humor to it. But here's the thing. Right now, in this day and age, I think things are going to get a lot tougher. And I would rather, right now, see things progress with him not having to be around, rather than having something happen right now where he has to deal with all this, what's going on. And I know he voted before he got sick, and that was one of the things that he wanted to do before he got sick. So that was a good thing. But I don't think things are going to get any better in this world. I don't think, it doesn't matter to me who is going to win the election at this point. I don't believe in any of what is going to happen. It's going to make anything any better. And the reason why I feel that way is because it's just, I think it's like too far gone. I think our country is way too far gone. And I hate to feel that way, but I think, with the economy the way it is, people struggling, and, I see, it's like, you ignore your own people in your own country, and after a while it just becomes, kind of weird, because you should be taking care of your own people at all times. And we're not doing that. And that's the sad part. We don't take care of our own. We don't take care of the people who in our own country. But yet, we're giving money and we're supporting people who are coming to our country. It doesn't make sense why we're doing that. And to me, it just feels like the world's like an empty place. It feels like it's not just here in the United States, it feels like it's everywhere. And I really don't know how to handle it. To be honest with you, I don't even know how to deal with it. But I do know that I try to do these videos so that, hoping that somebody out there will hear it and understand that I'm an individual who will literally, I come from, you know, I'm just a person. I'm out here doing my own thing. I'm just a normal guy. Nobody special. And these are my thoughts. And I don't want to prosper from all this. I don't care to. It doesn't mean I don't really care to think about making any money from it. I mean, last thing I need is having the government want anything that I prosper from. So I just, what I'd say is for free. I mean, yeah, I'd like to make a living doing something like that, but I don't see any reason to even try. So, with everything, like I said, that's going on, it just seems kind of weird that we, as one of the greatest nations on earth, is in such turmoil. I mean, we have two candidates who are running for the presidency, and to me, I don't really care. I mean, you think you would be excited what's one or the other, but you're not. I'm not. I really, again, I really don't care. Seriously, don't care. And that's the tough one right there. Is not caring, because the government, our government that we have put in power, has completely, in my opinion, has destroyed our country. The people around the world, all the people who are in power, has destroyed the world. The big companies and everything, the food we eat, everything. It's just, you would think that we'd be able to catch on, but we don't. And it's like, even having a conversation with some people close to me, I tell them about this stuff, and their reactions, I don't care. It tastes good. I'm like, okay, all right, well, they don't care, they don't care. There's nothing I can do about that. If they don't care, they don't care. So there's nothing I can do about that. And then it makes me wonder how many other people do that. And then I go through the grocery store and I see people pushing shopping carts full of food, and I'm wondering, how on earth can these people afford all this? And then I just think, well, what other choice do they have? They have to spend more money to feed their families. So then in my mind, I'm thinking, how on earth do they do it? I don't get it. It blows my mind. I really don't know how they do it. So this brings me to the current state of society, where it's all going to end up. And here's my opinion. I'm not one for conspiracy. As a matter of fact, I can't stand conspiracy. But I know that there's people out there in the world that are trying their best to make our lives better, or at least trying to make a difference. Unfortunately, they're being met with resistance and, like, people who want to grow their own gardens, people who want to, supply people with, real food and stuff, and they're being told they can't. And so I'm just thinking, oh, okay, where have I heard all this before? And then you start to put the pieces of the puzzle together. And it doesn't take a rocket scientist to seriously to figure this out. And what it all comes down to is that at the end of the day, what it all comes down to, what it boils down to, sorry about that, what it all boils down to is if you've ever studied the Bible and you read about some of the prophecies in the Bible, and you pay attention to some of the people who are out there who prophesize the Bible, who talk about these things in the Bible, the end of times, and you start to put two and two together, and you start to see these things unfolding, you kind of get an idea of what's going on. A friend of mine who I wouldn't call him an atheist, but he's not one to talk about God. And in the last year, maybe a little bit more than a year, he sees me, he talks to me, and when I get on, I don't push my beliefs on him. It's not my way to do things. But unfortunately, there are a few things that him and I have talked about. And in the last couple months, he had brought up a couple things saying that, a conversation we just got into this recently was that about the Bible being written, the original Bible, and I told him there's a few things that he should be listening to. And so, with that being said, I said to him, so a few things, and all of a sudden he just says, wow. He goes, you really have been studying the Bible. I go, well, it's not just studying, it's paying attention to what people are telling you. And so I've been following the correct people. I've been listening to the correct people. I've been letting God guide me in the right direction of the right people who to listen to. And what that means is if I'm following the right people and I'm going in the right direction of the right people and I'm paying attention to this, it kind of starts to paint the right picture. And if it sounds to me, if I'm listening to someone and it doesn't sound quite right, then I feel in my heart that it's not right. And that's kind of what I've been basing everything off from. That's, God's Word. And so in the last year, I have been paying a lot of attention to everything that's been going on. And one of those things is in the end of times, things are going to get really nasty. And all my life, things have been, there's been some crappy things that go on. There has been times when people prophesize, oh, this is the end of times, Y2K was the end of times, and none of that stuff really made sense to me even back then. But now, with Israel, with other things that are going on right now, with these wars, with all these other things that are literally going on right now. And not only that, but thinking about this, it says, Jesus said that, the gospel would be available to everybody throughout the world. Well, it just so happens, we have our devices here. And everybody around the world has devices, and so they have access to God's Word. Everybody's on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and everybody has these feeds, and I know that everybody gets the Word. Somehow, even your atheists, these people, sometimes something's going to pop up. So then I thought, and then in the last couple years, I started seeing things that are getting worse. And we got a plane going over me. But anyway, So then let's take a walk back. So in 2020 I got COVID and I was in a coma, induced coma. And during that time I was in a dream. Now people can be skeptical about this. I don't care. Call me crazy. But during that dream, it took me a long time. A real good friend of mine, who I talked to daily, I used to tell him my dream. But there was always fragments of the dream. And then when I used to go see a psychologist, she used to tell me at times that over time I would start to be able to take these fragments and put them in order and start to think about it more. And the more I started writing about them, the more I started thinking about them, the more I started telling people about the story the more that the stories started coming together. And then it started making more sense. So the story, the way the story starts, the way the story is in the middle, the way that everything is. I was caught in a dream for however many weeks I was in this coma. And during that time, when I was in that induced coma, I was clinging to life. And I believe that I had a vision during that time where God showed me two different things. He showed me what heaven's going to be like, and then he showed me what it's going to be like during the tribulation. To be able to come back and tell people, listen, the tribulation, if you're left behind, it's going to be dark, it's going to be evil, it's going to be filled with so much evil and so much deceit, so much everything, that people are not going to be able to know what's real and what's not real. And on the other side, I was filled with so much love, so much freedom, so much beauty, so much carefree beauty. Like it's hard to describe. So during this time, I got to see two parts, and there's a whole story behind it. And believe me, I don't have the time to do it now, but I am going to be doing some videos down the road. I want to do this in a lot better detail. So when I have been doing this for over the last couple of years, and I've been watching everything take place, and I'm starting to see the evil, and I'm starting to see the riots, I'm starting to see everything on the dark side that take place, and I'm starting to see certain things that I saw in my visions that I never saw before taking place, and I'm starting to hear certain phrases, certain things taking place. I'm starting to pay attention. And what I'm starting to notice more is I'm starting to notice that I'm talking to people about God more. I'm starting to reach out and talk to people about the Lord. I'm starting to tell people that you need to get out there, you need to repent. You need to get your heart right. Because if you don't believe, and they say, I don't believe in that mumbo jumbo, I said, that's fine. But if you're so willing to take that chance, that's good. But I wouldn't take that chance. If you're going to get your heart right, get your heart right. I mean, even my kids think, I'm crazy, but that's okay. Because I pray that my faith will save them. I only can hope, but the thing about it is what's happening right now in our country, in the world. Everything's pointing to the end. And how the end plays out as it does in the Bible, we'll never know. However the end plays out in catastrophically, whatever, we don't know. Only as it was written. But so far, everything seems to be pretty accurate. And it's like the, the clock is ticking and the time is running out. And these people who are literally, building bunkers, who are trying to protect themselves, who think that they're going to be able to beat this stuff, they're not going to be able to beat it. They're going to be crushed. They're going to be obliterated. Everything is going to happen. It's going to be a wasteland. And when everything does happen, it's going to happen. But we still have a lot to come yet before all this happens. We still have much more that's going to happen. It's just like, I feel like I've had some visions. I feel like I've seen things that are biblical. I feel like I witnessed something myself. And I feel like I've drifted away from God. I feel like right now I'm not where I should be, but I'm trying to get myself back in where I should be. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. So if you're watching this video, do me a favor. Make a comment below. Tell me how you're feeling about what's going on. And like and share with anybody. And let me know. Alright? I'd really appreciate it. Thanks, and have a good day. Bye-bye.